Welcome back, students. So now I'm sure you know about bonding and bonding situation in carbon monoxide or carbon ligand, and how also you have picked the concept that how carbon monoxide acts as a ligand and why the bonding between carbon monoxide and a metal like nickel was possible in because both of the species are extra stable under ordinary conditions. In yesterday's lecture, we discussed the lone pair of electron which was located or polarized on carbon, and another lone pair of electron which was polarized on oxygen. The comparison of these two pairs showed or revealed that the lone pair of electron which is located at carbon, it is more sensitive toward reactivity, electron which is located on oxygen is less actively involved in bonding, particularly with metal center. So carbon monoxide, and also inshallah in the coming discussion we will discuss that carbon monoxide links to metal center through carbon, not through oxygen, because this center is more reactive as compared to oxygen. And this phenomena is absolute because there are no examples reported so far where oxygen is attached to metal and not carbon. But in 100% cases, the carbon is attached to metal, not oxygen. Now, this was the phenomena in which the metal overlap with carbon monoxide or carbonyl and the orbitals, which are actually in appropriate orientation with each other, and they are overlappable. So they overlap with each other, and as a result of this overlapping, sigma bond is formed. While the rest of the orbitals, which are present either with metal center or on carbon, because these are now pi star orbitals and they are d orbital. So d orbital and pi star orbital of carbon monoxide, they are at appropriate position with respect to each other, and whenever they come closer to each other, then there are clear chances of overlapping, and another bond is also possible by overlapping of these two orbital, which is d and pi star, or p orbital, or pi star, or antibonding molecular orbital on carbon monoxide. So the one bond which has already been established, which is a single bond between carbon and metal, this bond is actually as a result of dsp overlapping. D orbital or subshell belong to metal, and sp subshell belongs to carbon monoxide. In this sp, this is completely filled, while d orbital is empty, and completely filled and empty orbitals have appropriate occupancy. Now they can overlap, and a bond can be formed, which is logically called, or which is literally called the sigma bond. Now let it come toward the pi bonding between these two species. So whenever they come further closer to each other after the formation of single bond, so once this single bond has been established, now there are chances of pi bond provided that metal and carbon monoxide or any other ligand which we are discussing have appropriate both of them have appropriate orbitals. This is pi star orbital or antibonding molecular orbital, and this one is d orbital. So d orbital and antibonding molecular orbital, they have appropriate overlap, appropriate orientation in the space, and they are capable to overlap with each other. Now their overlapping can afford another or additional bond, and that additional bond, in terms of bonding, we call it pi bond. So sigma bond has already been established, and metal and carbon monoxide are now capable to make another bond or additional bond that would be called pi bonding. And this pi bonding now depends upon the situation whether the metal has d electrons or not. Because this orbital, we know that this is pi star, and pi star orbital in carbon monoxide is completely empty. There are no electrons, and if you remember, this was termed in previous lecture as LOMO, or lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. So this is the orbital which has lowest energy, and there was no electrons, or there were no electrons in these orbitals. So on the basis of this situation, they were called as LOMO, or lowest unoccupied molecular orbitals. Now, if metal possesses electrons in d orbital, so electrons from d orbital of the metal can be shifted to this pi star orbital of carbon monoxide, and a bond is possible, where if we consider the arrows, the arrowhead in bonding between metal and carbon monoxide, so in this case electron density is from carbon towards metal. So if we are representing this bond by an arrow, so the arrowhead should be toward metal center. On the other hand, if we are representing pi bonding between metal and carbon monoxide with the help of an arrow, so the arrowhead should be in reverse direction from metal toward carbon monoxide. And this phenomena, in which, yeah, a ligand donates electron pair to metal through sigma bond and accepts electron pair from metal through pi bond. This situation is actually called back bonding, because it donates electrons in this direction to metal and accepts electron from metal in this direction back. So this situation is either called synergism or back bonding in this type of ligands. And this is the situation that makes the ligand a soft ligand. So whenever which is attached to metal center. For example, carbon is an atom which is attached to metal center, and immediately to carbon there are three bonds, or there is triple bond. So this triple bond, which we call as unsaturated bond. So whenever a ligand has this situation, so on the basis of this situation, act as soft ligand. So carbon monoxide and many more ligands, where there is multiple bond immediately attached to the center, which is attached to metal center. So they are soft ligands. And because they are soft ligand, further we have to clarify whether the ligand will be soft or hard. If the pi star orbital pi and pi star orbitals are available, are bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals are then definitely available, and they possess the same orientation as the metal orbital has. Therefore, overlapping is possible, and on the basis of this overlapping, particularly those ligands where back bonding is possible, so carbon monoxide on the basis of this phenomena is a soft ligand, while coming to the bonding between this metal and carbon monoxide. So sigma bonding was as a result of overlapping between d and sp orbital, or this is a dsp overlapping between these two orbitals, which result a sigma bond. On the basis of this, these orbitals which are involved in pi bonding, so pi bonding we call this orbital, which is situated on metal center, is actually d, and this d is available for pi. Therefore, this orbital is designated as d pi. D is actually the nature of the subshell, and pi is the availability of this orbital for particular bonding, which is pi, not sigma, because sigma has already been established. And p orbital, which is actually, if we compare, if we designate, or if we locate this orbital absolutely in the molecular structure of carbon monoxide, so this is pi star. And pi star, the p orbital is part of p orbital. So pi is available with the carbon monoxide. So you have to because the orbitals which are involved in bonding, actually it designate those orbitals, that which type of orbitals are involved in bonding of between these two species. So this is the overall bonding phenomena in carbon